Hello, everybody, and welcome to my coloring corner. Today is Friday, so that means that we're doing flips and fun stuff for Friday, and this is the fun stuff. So these are the Deli colored pencils. They're also another company that puts out a wonderful colored pencil called Starjoy, and they're beautiful pencils. The Starjoy are a little bit lower quality than these, but I have gone through and I have sharpened them to see how they sharpen, and they sharpen beautifully. They have a good thick core and that sort of thing. Absolutely lovely pencil shaft and that sort of thing. The ends are coated, which, like I said yesterday, I'm not very fond of the coating on the very end. I love the look of it, but I like to be able to see whether or not the core is centered, and I can do that better if there is no coating. But from the way that it's sharpened, it seems to be pretty centered, so it's not terrible on the centering. They are numbered with a number and the colored pencil and the company name. But we're going to take a look at these today. We have so many things going on today. We're going to take a look at these, and we're also going to do a couple of flip throughs for some wonderful Christmas books and that sort of thing. I'm going to do this swatch video for these, and when we get back from the swatch video, I'll go through, I'll talk about the pencils and what I like about them, what I dislike about them, if anything. And then we'll do a bit of a coloring on our owls. We're getting there on our owls is when I messed up. But we'll choose an owl. I think we'll probably do this one here. And we will do some coloring on the owls. We're almost finished the poor little owls for testing pencils on, so I'll have to choose a different one to test pencils if I get any new ones. But we're going to do the quick swatch of these, and then I will come back and talk to you more about them. I thank you very much for watching. Just hold on to your coffees and get all cozy and warm. It's going to be very quick because it is only 72 pencils. And of course, I will speed it up for you so that you're not sitting there for hours watching me, swatch pencils. So I shall be back. Hold on tight. Hi guys. Well, that wasn't so bad, was it? Well, like I said, got the swatch out of the way so we know what all our colors are and where they are in the number system. Like I said, these are numbered, not named. And they are a really nice looking pencil. They do have a couple of defects, different areas that, like this one here has a weird orange line that goes all the way around it. You know, different, just odd little things that happen in manufacturing. The even sharpened, they don't seem to have shortened a whole lot, which is good. There, like I said, there's 72 pencils in this set. It does come in a wonderful tin, metal tin, and there's 2 layers of pencils in the set. They do have these little plastic holders, which are flimsy folders. I don't like flimsy holders, so I will more than likely end up taking them out of the metal box. Well, I'll definitely end up taking them out of the metal box and putting them in a proper bag, pencil bag. So the swatch, we have done the swatch. So I'm going to move these out of your way and take a look at the swatch. On the back of these, just one of the things I wanted to tell you about. Oh, I'm bashing you around. On the back is the color chart and what colors should be in the set. Numbers from 1 all the way down to 72. The rest of it is all in Chinese, so I can't really tell you anything more of what any of this means. So, but it does seem to at least have the color chart there, so when you swatch them, you can do a comparison to make sure that you have all the right colors, which is really kind of cool. All right, let's move these guys over here. I don't know why they always put it on the back where you're having to flip things over and do stuff like that. All right, so our swatches, let's switch you over to the other camera so that you can see a little bit better. There we go. So of course we have white, and then we have a skin tone, a medium skin tone, I guess it would be. And then we have our yellows, and then we go into the light oranges, skin tone, tan skin tone colors, into the darker oranges, into the reds, and then we start into the pinks. And I think this is a light pink here. It's a little bit darker. This is a little bit lighter than this. So this is a lighter version of this, I do believe. I'm not positive on that, but, and then we go into our pinks, into our brighter pinks, deep purpley colors. So these would be the red violet colors, into our violet colors, into our blues, into our blues, lots of blues. It has a very good range of colors and a good amount of each color, which is really good. They laid down beautifully. As you probably saw in the swatching, doing the light, it showed a little bit of the whites, obviously a bunch of the white spot in it, but as soon as I put some pressure on it, it just went down like butter. The only thing that I found that I really didn't like, and it happens with a lot of pencils, so it's not just these, it happens with a lot of the better quality pencil, the softer pencils, is I ended up with a lot of dust. Okay, and what I call dust is just those little fragments of pencil that wear off while you're coloring. That you end up doing this too and getting a ton of pencil all over the place. I don't like that. I keep a brush handy for that, but still I don't like it. But it goes from the greens into the green browns, into the browns, into the brown reds, and then into the dark browns, into the grays, and into the blacks. And these two here are metallic, silver, and gold. So it has a really, really good selection of colors. I'm going to switch it back over here so you can see the whole works of it all together, and turn that off so that you're not blinded by it. They all laid down beautifully. Of course, with the lighter lay down, we always know that it's going to take a couple of layers to get the white spot covered. This is on Patty Duffy's paper out of her Swatch book. So it is an Amazon basic printing paper. This is not cardstock. This is not heavy stock. This is not heavily toothed paper. So just to let you know that this is the reason why I do it on these swatch sheets, is because a lot of people color in their coloring books. And sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Depends upon the paper. If the paper is really nice, medium thickness paper with a good feel to it, I will color on it. If it's really, really flimsy paper and it feels really rough, I won't color on it. I will scan those and print them, because I just find it takes the joy out of coloring for me to color on that type of paper. So if I really want to color the image, I will copy it and put it on my own paper and color it, just because it's a beautiful picture and I really, really want to color it, but I don't want the frustration of the paper that it's been printed on. And sometimes that's a budget thing, sometimes that's an unknown thing, and sometimes, you know, it's just the way that they do it. But whichever reasoning behind it, it happens. But anyway, back to what I was saying. The reason why I color on these swatch sheets is because it is on this basic paper that a lot of coloring books are on. And if it turns out beautiful on this paper, then I know they're going to work very well on any of the coloring books. So that is our swatch sheet. So we've got all the colors there, 72 colors, beautiful grouping. Another thing I really like about this set is it is in numerical order and color order. So you don't have, other than this one here, which I think should have been in the pinks or in these peachy colors down here, you don't have a lot of colors that are in areas they shouldn't be. You know, these reds are always in the browns, whether I want them in the browns or not, but they're always in the browns. But other than that, that are the only things that I might have changed. But in every set, the terracotta colors are in the browns. So that is not anything new with this set. It is something that does happen in every set. I can't say enough about the fact that they've got it in numerical order and in color order. It's just so cool. Blown away. And for the price of them, they're a very budget-friendly pencil. So for the price of them, to be budget-friendly and still cover the way that they cover is also very cool to me. Now I'm just going to move these over here so I can reach them better. And we will color this little owl. I'm going to switch you over to the other camera so you can see better. And we're going to color this little fella here. And hopefully my hand doesn't get in your way. There we go. I think he's pretty much centered there for you. Yeah, see this one here, I wanted to test whether or not they were water fast, and they're not. And I can't remember what pencils. I think those are the U-Buy pencils. But we'll take that out of the screen so that you're not distracted by it. Okay, so the colors that we have, I'm gonna put this up there. And I think we're going to start with a medium brown. Let's see, which would be a 154 is what we're going to start with. So this is number 154. And like I said before, they sharpened to a beautiful sharp point. And even after using them for the swatch, they didn't go down a whole lot. They were not waxy like, you know, sometimes you get a set of pencils in and they've got that white waxy feel over them. These are, I do believe, an oil-based pencil, which is also, you know, one of those things that is my favorite. I prefer the oil-based pencils myself, but I'm growing more and more accustomed to the wax-based, because I do have quite a few sets now that are wax-based. The Amazon set that I absolutely love and I use all the time is a wax-based set. I seem to use my lower priced pencils a lot more than I do, say, my Fabers or my Holbeins. And I'm not sure if that's just because those are really expensive and even more expensive now than when they were when I bought them. The Faber-Castells I got for Christmas, but the Holbeins I purchased. It was my anniversary present to myself. But they just seem to be so much more expensive now that I don't want to use them. Even one-off is getting quite expensive with the Faber-Castells, so it gets a little frustrating when, you know, something that a year ago was reasonable and obtainable is now so expensive. These are fairly budget friendly. They are approximately $25 for the set. And to me, that's still a little more expensive for colored pencils or pencil crayons than a starter would be paying for them. But if you are just starting out and you're thinking about getting pencil crayons that are Prismacolor or, you know, that sort of thing, and you can't afford them, try these. They are very close to the Sharper Faben level of smoothness. You know, as you see, I'm barely putting any pressure on this at all, and the color is just going down. These are really small areas, so I'm trying really hard not to give you a scribble test, really. Is what I'm trying to avoid. I'm trying to actually color it pretty. But I was really quite surprised with the fact that they sharpened as well as they did, and there was no breakage. Like I said, when I did receive them, the box was pretty beat up. So I did put them in my cabinet with my computer, and warm them up a little bit. And if there was any breakage, there doesn't seem to be now. So I had one little tip that was a little bit broken on the end, but not anything major that was visual to start with, and nothing from sharpening. So if they were shaken up and broken around, then they don't seem to be now. So that's a good thing. Sometimes I do these little tiny pictures and I sit there going, okay, this will be really quick. And then it takes me forever. I don't know if anybody else has that problem. And the colors are quite bright. When I was doing the swatch sheet, I was really surprised on how vibrant the colors were. They seem to be quite pigmented, which is another thing that you look for when you're looking at buying a new set of pencils, is how pigmented the colors are. And how well they lay down. Like, I'm not having to do any sort of burnishing or blending at this point to get rid of any white spot on this cardstock. So that, to me, this isn't a thick cardstock, it's a medium cardstock out of a coloring book. So that tells me that even on a cardstock, it's going to do quite well. And like I said, this is out of the Shuttle Arts coloring book. So it is not a heavy cardstock. It is a very, very thin cardstock. All right, well, we've got down that light brown. See if I've missed any areas, which I probably have because I don't have a light on, so I can't see the white. All right, so now we're going to switch over to, no, let's do this one. One of these reddy brown colors. I don't know, I think I want to make him almost a Christmassy kind of owl. Do the shadows, darker areas. I'm going to do this top layer dark because I already started doing that. And I'll go to the lighter red and finish it off with the other areas. I think we're going to make him a nice green red Christmas owl. Just because. With little bits of yellow and brown. Maybe some silver and gold. I want to see how they lay down. You know, if somebody told me a year ago I'd be sitting here doing a swatch and a color, talking to myself, I would have told them, no, I don't like that. I won't be doing that. Yet, here I am. And I know I'm not talking to myself. I'm talking to everybody out there who is going to watch this video. It's just, if somebody was to come in here right now and they go, what the heck are you doing talking to yourself? All right, now we're just going to do up here and under his chin. So I hope everybody has had a wonderful week. Tomorrow is Saturday, and tomorrow we have a color along going on, of course, and I have some surprises and some things that are going to be happening soon and some announcements. So I really hope y'all are going to join me tomorrow because they are so cool. And I think you will find them enlightening on what's going to be going on in the next month. All right, so we've got the red on there. Now let's switch over to the lighter red and fill in all of our darker red areas. Fill in everywhere that we've put that dark red in as a starter. Now I am going pretty quick here, so I'm pressing a little bit harder because I don't want to layer. And it's going to be a little messy because I want to see how well it works with the blender pencil. And what kind of blender would work best for it. If any at all. Sometimes just the white pencil that you get in the package works the best. The only thing I don't like about using the white as a blender pencil is it will dull down your color. So if your pencils aren't extremely vibrant to begin with, you may not want to use your white as a blender. I'm going to turn on that light because that's better. I am missing so much because it's not lit up. And I can't see. That's better. That's much better. All right, I'm just going to do his tail feathers there. And now we're going to take some greens. I think this one here. And I should have looked at my chart because that's not the dark green that I wanted it to be. Excuse me. But that's fine. We'll make it work. I know, who's seen a green owl before, right? Goodness, I've got a frog in my throat today. I think I need some more coffee. I think that's definitely the problem. I need to drink more coffee. All right. I'm just going to do his wings his belly. Basically what I'm doing right now is I'm just going around and outlining all the areas that are shadowed so that when I put the next color down, that shadow is going to show through. Okay. Now we're going to take this one and we're just going to go over it. And I go right over top of the darker color. I really want that tickle to go away. And as you can see with the brighter color, the lighter color, it just goes down a lot smoother. And it just covers so well. Which is really nice. Okay. Now, of course, because it is Flips and Fun Stuff Friday, and this is our fun stuff part of our videos today. I do have a few more videos coming out today, and I know it's hard to watch them all at once. You know, I try not to put out too many videos on one day, but on Friday, if I have lots and lots of mail come in, I end up with more than one video. So today we're going to end up with 2 or 3, depending upon whether or not I do the flips individually or all at once. And I think that with these books that I'm going to do the flips for, they are so nice that I want to encourage everybody to watch the whole video. So I will do them one at a time so that the videos are shorter, so that people aren't feeling daunted and they can watch the other one later on. I'm just going to grab that dark again, and I'm going to go down through here a little bit because I didn't put in the shadow on that V part there. So I'm just going to put that shadow in with the darker pencil over top of the light pencil, and then I'll go back over it just to spread it out a bit like that. All right, now for his tail feathers. I know I probably have broken every color combination rule in the book at this point. But I want to see how each color works together and show you the vibrancy of the different colors. So this is a beautiful green for leaves and grass and that sort of thing. and obviously for owl tummies, for Christmas owls. Told you he was going to be colorful. Okay. So if you're watching this after you've watched the flips, I hope you enjoyed the flips. They are some great books done by Teresa Goodridge, and she is just a phenomenal artist. Very detailed, very pretty, very realistic scenes. It's very, very pretty. And I love her books. Her art is just really nice. And you can definitely tell when you look at a book on whether or not she did the art in it. So, alrighty, so we've got the green down, and we've got some red, and we've got some brown. So let's go into a yellow. Let's give a bit of yellow here. This isn't a bright yellow, it's more of a creamy yellow. I know, don't do that. Use your... I need to use my brush, but... I keep on forgetting to use my brush. And instead I use my hand and make a mess. So I'm just going to do up these little bits around his head with this creamy yellow, and then we'll go to maybe the silver and the gold on the rest of him, just to see how those colors look. I should have maybe chose the brighter yellow just to show you how it looks on the page, but I did not, so I'm sorry. All right, so maybe we'll grab that brighter yellow and just use it up here at the top of his head. No, that really didn't make a difference. All right, so now we're going to use the gold, and we're just going to color his dots. And of course, you know, owls don't usually have spots on their bellies, so me making him green and gold and different colors, probably not a big deal at this point. Definitely not drawn as a realistic owl. Yeah, and doing the other ones in purples and pinks and all that colors, pretty much, you know, put the kibosh on them being realistic from the start. So the gold is going down quite nice. It is a, looks like a brownie yellow gold. Looks like it has a touch more brown in it than yellow. Which is funny because last night I thought it had a little bit more yellow in it. And then we're going to do around his eye. Hopefully I'm not in your way. Like I said, this is a very small picture, so the little areas are really tiny. And we're just going to go over this yellow with the gold. Alrighty, now we're going to take the silver and we're just going to do these areas in this dipped in silver. Okay. So all in all, I'm thinking these are a very good alternative to any brand of pencil. They are very, very smooth. They lay down quite nicely, even the metallics. I've got a hair attached. There we go. Which was driving me crazy because I could see it, but I couldn't see where it was coming from. Okay. I broke a couple of fingernails yesterday, so I trimmed them down, but I obviously have one that's a little bit snaggly that is grabbing a hair. Now, it's probably this one that broke down way too far to actually cut properly. So we're going to try the Prisma Blender on it. Let's see how that does. So the Prisma Blender does okay. So what that tells me is it's got a good level of wax in it. Now they said on the website that these were an oil-based pencil. And with an oil-based pencil, they don't usually blend very well with a wax-based blender. And this seems to be doing okay with the wax-based blender. So I'm wondering if maybe I've just got enough pigment on the page that it's lifting it up and just redistributing it, or if they're more wax than they say they are, which is also possible. But sometimes they say they're oil-based and that sort of thing, and you find out through usage and everything else that they feel more, they look more, and they act more wax than you would expect for an oil-based pencil. But they seem to blend quite well with just this Prismacolor blending pencil. And of course, when you go into darker areas like this red, when you are done with it, make sure you wipe your blender pencil. Otherwise, when you go into the next color, if it's not red, you're going to have red streaks. So try to make sure before you jump onto any other color that you have wiped your pencil. Otherwise, it is what it is. You end up rubbing it in, and once you've put the blender pencil to it, it does make it a lot more difficult to erase. But it does seem to be blending it through all of that white spot, which is good. I'm a little surprised that the wax blender pencil is working as well as it is with this. Oil-based pencil. So I'm beginning to think that it's possible that it's not as oil-based as they say. All right, I'm going to go up into the face here. And I know it's probably very funny looking with the light on, because the light's going to reflect against any shine that's on it. So I will turn off the light so that you can see what it looks like when I'm done blending. So I've done the body of the bird, I've done the wings, and I've done the face. I've pretty much blended everything except for the browns and the metallics. And of course, we're not going to blend the metallics, because when you blend a metallic, it does remove that metallic shine. So it does blend very, very nicely. It, like I said, it's blending very nicely with a Prismacolor blender. And sometimes that's a fine thing, but it tells me that they're a little bit more wax than oil. So if they're an oil-based pencil, they're not as, they don't have as much oil in them as, say, a polychromo, as far as I'm concerned. That is my opinion. And like I said, I haven't talked to the company or anything like that. They are a Chinese company, or an Asian company, I should say. And they don't have any contact information on their products. So contacting them to find out the answers to these questions is a little bit more difficult. All right, so he is done. Yeah, I've gone over the lines a couple of places, but not a big deal. He blended very nicely. And he's cute. The greens are very, very bright and vibrant. The reds are really deep. And the yellows are a good yellow. The golds are shiny and show as a gold color, and same with the silver. They show as a good silver color. Let's see if I can show you the shine on the silver and the gold. Yeah, see, as you can see with the silver, it's quite shiny. So is the gold. Not a glittery kind of gold or silver, but just shiny, which is fine too. Again, they come in these little trays. Well, I can't really say little because they hold half the, but they're wobbly. I'm going to switch back over. So they are quite wobbly. So, but they do roll beautifully. They don't jump or anything. They are very, very straight pencils, which is another problem I have been finding with lower cost pencils, is sometimes they're very, very, their quality control is very lackluster, and whether or not they're straight, whether or not they're centered, that sort of thing. These do, like I said, come in a beautiful tin with a absolutely gorgeous picture on the tin, as well as on the inside lid. So if you are, wanting to have the artwork on the inside of the lid, they have that there for you. There, that's better. So that's very, very pretty. This plastic piece is very handy, especially if you're coloring a double-sided picture and you don't want the ink on the secondary side to get on the other picture or anything like that. You can just put this in between and it keeps that layer from pressing the other picture's ink into the opposing page. Absolutely wonderful, wonderful set of pencils, and I am so glad that people talked me into buying them and had asked questions about them, because I personally would not have bought them because of the fact that it is only a 72 set, and I have so many sets of pencils that are full sets of 120 or higher that I really didn't need another 72 set pencil or a 72 set pencil crown set. 72 pencil crown set. There we go. My tongue does not want to work with me. Taking a look at the picture, the greens are very nice. The dark green does give a really, really lovely shadow. The bright green does stand out quite nicely. The two different tones of red are very good. They covered beautifully. And the golds and silvers, the two metallic pencils that are in the set are very metallic colored, as well as give that metallic shine. I don't think there's much else I can say about these pencils. They are a wonderful pencil. They are inexpensive, and I will leave the link to the pencils in the description below and where to find them on Amazon. Other than that, I thank you all so much for watching. Of course, like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, if you are going to be watching tomorrow, we have some surprises. So it should be a lot of fun during our Saturday color along. We're going to color a Christmassy picture, probably the one that I started on Tips and Tricks Tuesday with the You Buy pencils on the Kimberly Hawthorne Christmassy picture while we talk. Of course, always and always relax, color, and stay safe, especially in this day and age. Until next time, I do thank you again for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe if you are not already subscribed. Leave me a comment. Let me know what's going on, what you want to see, what you like about the video, what you think of the pencils, anything like that. And of course, always like every video you watch. It does give me a boost of confidence in what I'm doing. Until tomorrow or the next video, it all depends upon what arrangement you have to watch them. Have a great day. Bye-bye for now.